The much awaited year of 2026 is here, and I'm so excited to share with all of you your astrology predictions for 2026. 2026 is a year of new beginnings and where we reap the rewards for all the efforts and hard work that we have been putting for the past 3-4 years. So, if you want to dive deep into in-depth, most accurate, detailed astrology predictions, then I highly suggest you look into your sun, moon, and rising signs. If you don't know what are your sun, moon, rising signs, then you can use any online birth chart calculator to find out the placements for your sun, moon, and rising signs. If you don't know your time of birth, then you can definitely use your moon sign or your sun sign based on the day on which you were born. So once you've calculated these details, you can go into the description box to your own sign to find out your personal astrology prediction. I do want you to know that I refer sidereal astrology or the Vedic astrology, which is a little bit different from your zodiac sign, because sidereal astrology looks at the actual placement of the planets in the sky. Now let's get into the video. If you have Sagittarius as your sun, moon, or rising, then this is what you can expect in 2026. For you, Saturn is transiting your 4th house, and so Saturn is all about discipline, routine, structure, responsibilities, and so Saturn is going to bring these themes to your 4th house related areas. 4th house is the emotional foundation. It is the house of our motherly love and comfort. So this is a time period where you'll start looking at your emotional foundation. You'll start evaluating what are your belief systems, how do you approach your relationships, if there have been any generational or ancestral patterns in your family, then 4th house also shows that. And Saturn's transit here will force you or nudge you or provide you some guidance to now start looking at that generational patterns to make sure you don't repeat them. 4th house, as I said, is also our house, home environment. With Saturn's presence here, there may be an increase in responsibility towards your family, towards your home, towards your kids or your parents. But you'll see family or the home environment is almost like a place of duty for you, because Saturn shows, as I said, responsibility, routine, structure. And so you may want to bring more structure to your home environment. Maybe you want to make sure that your surroundings are very organized now. You want to clean up your environment. You want to put everything on with labels and structure everything. Or you may want to restructure some part of your house. And so you'll see that there is a lot of repeated effort that will go in this restructuring, or in ensuring that there's proper discipline at home or proper routine, or maybe because of increased responsibilities, you'll be focusing a lot of your energy and your efforts and time towards these areas. 4th house is also the house of our real estate or land or property. And so now this is a good time for you to make sure matters related to your land, property, they are in place and they're proper, they're structured, they're organized. Wherever Saturn's transit starts, it can give rise to a crisis. So when you have this placement, you may suddenly have a crisis, say related to some paperwork related to your property. And now you have to make sure that the paperwork is, perfect and complete and organized. You also have on 20th of February a Saturn and Neptune conjunction in your 4th house. And so Neptune is an outer planet which shows divine blessing, but Saturn and Neptune conjunction can bring a lot of intense changes. So you may see some intense transformation related to the themes that we discussed. And although this conjunction has been happening for around 1.5 years, so if there was something that you have been working on for the past 1.5 years, maybe you have been trying to get a particular routine in your house, or maybe you have been working on restructuring a part of your house, and so now you can actually start seeing the results of those efforts. For you, Sagittarius, Jupiter is going to be transiting your 7th house till June, and this is a good time to find a long-term partner, because 7th house shows our long-term commitments, whether that's in personal relationships or professional relationships. So you may be able to find a long long-term commitment or a soulmate or marriage partner. This is also a good time to find a good business partner. So, you may find someone who has really good resources and business contacts and who, vibes with you really well. Jupiter also shows everything foreign, and so you may start working maybe say with a foreign partner, or maybe you find a long-term commitment with a foreign partner. But definitely Jupiter's presence here brings like a divine blessing and makes sure that the things are more in your favor. After June, Jupiter is going to transit your 8th house. 8th house is again the house of marriage, the house of intimacy. So this is a good time period, or this is a good year for you to actually find a long-term partner if you've been looking for. 8th house is also the house of making money through other people. So you may start making money through more commissions, or through, insurance brokerage, or through inheritances, or you start making these business contacts now in the initial part of the year, and then you are able to together with them have more money by maybe selling your products to more people, because 8th house shows that you're able to get more money from other people. This is also a good time you may be able to find a partner maybe who is more wealthy than you, and then that's how you see there is an increase in your combined income, or there is some positive change that happens in your partner's income, and so your combined income increases. 8th house is also the house of spiritual transformation, and so when Jupiter transits your 8th house, it's a really good time for you to start looking at your self-sabotaging patterns, or your shadow work, or areas where you do trauma bonding and things that have been keeping you stuck. And Jupiter's presence here makes these transformations very easy. Instead of you going through a whole lesson, when Saturn is giving you a lesson, it's going to be like some sort of shock you get, or some betrayal you get, and then that's how you learn the lesson, which is also important. But when Jupiter is giving you an epiphany, generally it's more in the form of like a spiritual guidance, or you read a book and you get some inspiration and you start to feel that you can do really much better than this. After October, Jupiter will be transiting your 9th house, and that is again a very lucky placement for Jupiter, and so you can see that your belief systems are changing and you're able to connect with the higher power more easily, or you're able to see these divine blessings in your life. 9th house is also the house of foreign travel. So if you have been thinking of traveling abroad, or you have been thinking of settling abroad, and your visa is stuck, any of those things will see divine changes happening for them. You may also be able to find a good guru, or a mentor, or a life coach, or you want to do some higher education, able to find the right teacher for that. So this placement of Jupiter can also help you with that. With Jupiter's presence in your 9th house, your connections with your father figure may also start improving in the later part of 2026. Also, for Sagittarius, we are going to start the year with a major stellium on your 2nd house. So on 18th of January, we are going to have 6 planets: Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, Mercury, joining Pluto, which is already present in the sign of Capricorn, which is your 2nd house. And 2nd house again is the house of our resources, of home, of the wealth that we have accumulated. And so that is a sort of a theme for you happening this year, where there is a lot of focus on your wealth. Saturn is also there in 4th house, which is looking at your land, your property, and 2nd house is all about your wealth. And you'll see that this conjunction is happening right in January. It's almost as if these transformation and changes are happening, which are going to be affecting you for the rest of the year. And you may not see the full impact of these changes immediately, but it may start to reveal itself, the full impact, during the course of the year. 2nd house is also the house of our speech, the house of our food. And so in all of these themes, you will see that there is almost like a restructuring and intense transformations that are happening. Also in 2026, we're going going to have 4 eclipses, all on the axis of Aquarius and Leo. So Rahu, which is the North Node, is going to be transiting the sign of Aquarius, which is the 3rd house for you. And Ketu, which is the South Node, is going to be transiting the sign of Leo, which is the 9th house for you. And so you will see that there can be intense transformations, or these themes can be highlighted wherever Rahu and Ketu transit. Those themes can be really highlighted in your life in that year. So Rahu's presence in your 3rd house can really force you to now start looking at, how you express yourself, whether that's through writing, or maybe you want to write a book, or you want to write some blog, or expressing your views online. 3rd house is also the house of our creative skills, and so you may start getting really inclined towards developing some skills, and you just feel like a creative push now, and you feel as if now is the time for you to start writing that novel, or maybe improve some skill that you have been working on. 3rd house is also the house of our neighbors, our immediate environment, the immediate social environment, people that we talk to the daily, our brothers and sisters, our social environment. So Rahu's presence here is a good time for you to evaluate this environment, because Rahu is also the planet of delusion. And so this is a time when, if you have been delusional about something, that may come to surface. It is a good time to look out for such delusion. So maybe during this time period, do not tell your plans to everyone. It's better to keep your things to yourself and be a little bit cautious. Ketu, on the other hand, is present in your 9th house, and 9th house is like a spiritual house. And so Ketu's presence here can actually force you to be more spiritual, to start looking at things from a more spiritual perspective. Maybe you see like there is almost like a transformation in how you observe people and what you want out of life, your belief system, how you perceive the world. And then that also forces you to now start looking at the environment that you are in, the social environment that you are in, and see if that actually aligns with your soul aligned path anymore. So all in all, this looks like a really transformative year for you. Make the best of this transformation, and may you have a wonderful 2026.